The hospital bill was only $312. But for United States billionaire Michael Carter, it felt heavier than the entire world. Because in his trembling hands, he held the final medical report for his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. And the doctor had just whispered, "She may not survive the winter." Michael once owned luxury cars, expensive watches, and a giant company in New York City. But none of that mattered anymore. Because 3 years earlier, his company collapsed after his business partner betrayed him and disappeared with millions of dollars. The mansion was gone. The cars were gone. His wife left him. Only Lily stayed. And now, even she was slipping away. Every morning at 4 a.m., Michael quietly left their tiny apartment while Lily slept beside an old heater that barely worked. He worked 3 jobs. First, washing dishes in a restaurant. Second, driving a taxi until afternoon. Third, cleaning office buildings late at night. His hands became rough. His back constantly hurt. Sometimes he fell asleep sitting on the subway. But every evening he came home smiling. Because Lily always waited near the window. "Daddy, did you eat today?" she asked every night. And every night he lied. "Yes, princess." But often he gave her the last piece of bread while drinking only water himself. One snowy evening, Michael returned home earlier than usual. The apartment was silent. Too silent. Lily? No answer. His heart froze. He rushed into the bedroom and saw her collapsed on the floor beside her crayons. The ambulance lights painted the snow red outside the window. At the hospital, doctors fought for hours. Michael sat alone in the hallway, shaking violently. Then the doctor finally came out. "We can save her," he said softly. Michael almost collapsed in relief. But then came the next sentence. "She needs surgery immediately. It costs $48,000. Michael stared at the floor. He had only $327 in his bank account. That night, he walked through the freezing streets of New York City with tears running down his face. For the first time in years, he prayed, "God, take everything from me. Just don't take my daughter." The next morning, Michael made a decision. He went back to the old company building he once owned. Now another corporation occupied it. The security guard laughed when he recognized him. The great Michael Carter? Back again? Michael ignored him. He entered the lobby and asked to see the new CEO. After hours of waiting, the secretary finally said, "He refuses to meet you." Michael nodded silently and turned away. But before the elevator doors closed, an older janitor suddenly called his name. "Mr. Carter?" Michael looked carefully. It was Samuel, the same janitor Michael had once helped years ago. Back then, Samuel's wife needed surgery, and Michael secretly paid for it without telling anyone. Samuel's eyes filled with tears. "I never forgot what you did for my family." Michael tried to smile weakly. "My daughter is dying," he whispered. Samuel disappeared for 10 minutes. Then he returned holding an envelope. Inside was a check. $50,000. Michael froze. "No, I can't take this." Samuel smiled through tears. "You already gave it to me years ago." The surgery lasted 9 hours. Michael sat outside the operating room without moving. Finally, the doctor walked toward him smiling. "She's going to live." Michael broke down crying in the middle of the hospital hallway. Not quietly, not proudly. Like a father whose entire world had just been returned to him. Months later, Lily recovered completely. One spring morning, she handed Michael a folded paper at breakfast. "What's this?" he asked. "It's my school essay," she smiled. He opened it. The title read, "My Hero." Michael smiled softly, but then he read the first sentence. "My father worked 3 jobs not because he loved money, but because he loved me more than himself." Tears rolled down his face again. Because after losing everything in life, he finally realized something. A real father is not the man who gives his child the richest life. A real father is the man who keeps fighting, even when life destroys him completely.